Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita in chapter 18, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. This whole chapter is devoted to giving a quintessence of the Gita and how to apply it in your daily life. All the theory becomes little unless you begin to practice. An ounce of practice is better than tons of theory. Keeping that in view, presently, verse number 36 and 37, they go together. Sukham tvidanim trividham shirnume bharatarshava abhyasatramate yatra dukhantam cha nigacchati yattadagre vishamiva pariname mritopamam tatsukham sattvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. O best of Bharatas, that means Arjuna, now hear from me the three types of happiness. We have heard already three types of so many things. Everything that you do has three types. Food you eat is sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. The words you speak, three types, sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Smile, three types. Sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. And all the three types can become ingredients in your practical reality. Moral behind all that is, in all conditions, always try to promote sattvic. But at the same time, if rajasic, tamasic expressions come in, you do not become frustrated, because they have their role also. And that point I have explained to you before. Just to reiterate that point. If a child is going to touch fire, and you have motherly heart and you have further been colored or rather enriched by satsanga, that always speak sweet. So the baby is going to touch fire and was speaking sweet. Oh baby, how beautiful you look. That sweetness is not really sattvic. Their firmness, and firmness requires not very sweet sound. Firmness is more sattvic than your being very tender. So you have to always understand all that you develop within you are meant to help you to attain liberation. Liberation being the goal. Now coming to happiness, there are three types of happiness, of which sattvic happiness is enjoyed as a result of constant practice, which leads to the cessation of all misery. Everyone has the urge to be happy. But simply keeping yourself happy, that's not the goal of life. I will not detail upon, but you know, there are many people who just get into a drunken house and see everybody laughing. Say, how quickly can you be so happy? You go after happiness without having your intellect to work upon it. That will be to your doom. So in order to allow your mind to turn to sattvic happiness, that requires abhyasa. Abhyasat ramate. Abhyasa means repeated effort. Satu dirghakal nairantarya satkara sevito abhyasa, Raj Yoga says. Process that must be sustained day by day. If you want to secure sattvic happiness, you allow a plan to operate in your daily life, a rhythmic plan, when to wake, when to do your japa, meditation, when to walk, when to eat. All must be in a rhythmic way. In other words, it must follow day by day, but not with military discipline. It should be more relaxed discipline. Learn from the birds. They wake up without alarm clocks. Dirghakal, so that's plan in life, developing taste for sattvic happiness that requires patience and simple understanding. If you are suffering from a disease, doctor gives you medicine, and medicine is prescribed. Every day you have to take this much. You shouldn't use your intellect. That if I take the whole thing, I will be free of my troubles fast. So let me outwit the doctor. I'm joking, but that's same medicine taken little by little every day does the miracle. But to take it all together doesn't do the miracle. It goes other way. Another, if you do it off and on, 1 week you take it, next week you leave it. Then also you are not following the right method. So spiritual movement should remain sustained. At the same time, do not be upset by your mental state. Mind can become one day more interested, next day may not be interested. And next day does it mechanically. But all this should not upset you. Let all this happen, but you keep up. Keep up your plan, because what you do, subtle impressions enter your unconscious. That unconscious takes over a mystic process. So it is not being wasted. So to dirghakal, nairantarya, dirghakal, do not put a limit to time. Nairantarya, day by day, follow the routine. It should be as natural as you feel when you are hungry, thirsty, day by day. You never sit back, oh, how long have I been eating? How long have I been sipping water? Or soda water. Satkar sevito. Another point. Develop a sense of positivity in your mind, that what you are doing is not a wastage. Each time you eat and say, oh, it's a rotten food. Thereby, you are hurting yourself. I will not go into details, but it's a simple way to understand. Similarly, when you do mantra japa, you don't start doing japa. Am I doing this, wasting my time? While doing japa in your fingers, with your fingers, the mind is doing japa. Am I wasting time? That means you are doing japa, but not with satkar, not with respect, not with positive humility that you are doing something, God is watching you. You should have humility along with what you do. A sense of joy, a sense of feeling that God has given you opportunity and you are utilizing it. When these points are brought into your daily practice, without developing the idea of a limit of time, I will do this for only 3 months. And then if nothing happens, then finish. I don't believe in it. Uninterrupted. That also it should be day by day. And satkar sevito, with deeper understanding. You are following teachings of great sages, and it's more than ordinary science. It is relating to something so profound that science has not come to the grip of it. I'm not making you underestimate science. I'm telling you there is something more than science presents. Science is constantly researching. Science is science because it admits that all that is to be known has not been. The moment he stops admitting that, science will not be science. I'm distracting you now. As a result of constant practice, put it in a broader way, practice integral yoga in your daily life. And go on doing so, no matter how much you may falter, doesn't matter, come back again and again. And if sattvic happiness increases, the characteristics of real success with sattvic happiness, characteristics are you develop divine virtues and you develop profound insight, vivek buddhi, leading to the cessation of all miseries. All scriptures, all religions have one goal: how to allow the soul to discover I am that. In that discovery, putting an end to ignorance, where all miseries terminate, that is the goal. If that goal is forgotten, then we are stuck with Bhugol, the earth planet, that round earth is called Bhugol. Tumbling through space. I'm joking, but for profounder understanding, let me direct your attention to Chatvari Arya Satyani, 4 noble truths, and they are Heya, Heya Hetu, Han and Hanopaya, to make it easy, pain, that's cause of pain, methods leading to remove pain, and the state where pain is completely extinct. 4 points called 4 Aryan truths. And just to reiterate these points, ignorance is the cause of all pain. So how to remove ignorance? That scriptures gives the methods of removing pain, leading to cessation of those 4 points: pain, cause of pain, methods leading to cessation of pain, and cessation of pain. These are the highlighted points in the study of scriptures. And they are to be applied in your daily life. And that's what Lord Krishna is pointing out. Sattvic happiness should lead you to the cessation of all misery. Now, that which appears like poison in the beginning, now coming to describe sattvic happiness. Sattvic happiness is not easy. Happiness is there, everybody becomes happy. But developing love for sattvic happiness and experiencing sattvic happiness, that requires a profound spiritual evolution. In order to lead a person to the taste for sattvic happiness, it takes a lot of work. Parents can understand easier how to put your child in the right direction. The child is, I will not go into details, the child is happy with so many toys. How to introduce to the mind of the child that there would be better happiness if he gets into school and academic studies and things of that nature. I'm talking in a very ordinary way. Coming to more philosophical, profounder way of saying, majority of people, their happiness is confined to what's called preya. Whatever pleases your mind and senses and your ego, that gives you happiness. But real happiness begins to unfold in your heart. Happiness that can become the source of your inspiration. Profounder talents, all great things arise out of profounder happiness. Therefore, that stage of changing the mind from preya to shreya, what's pleasant, that gives your mind happiness. That to continue from practical point of view, but don't get drowned in it. That's not your goal. Also inject into that happiness. The source of that happiness is divine within you, God. Healthy happiness is that which inspires you to follow a spiritual path, inspires you to develop love of God. Unhealthy happiness fascinates you with the world of various objects. So that's a simple way to understand healthy happiness, unhealthy happiness. Sattvic happiness is born of clear understanding of the self. On the other hand, as you promote sattvic happiness, there develops purity of intellect. Your understanding becomes clearer. What is all this about? What is the best thing for yourself? Vishayendriya sanyogat tattadagre mritopamam pariname vishamiva tatsukham rajasam smritam. Happiness arising out of the contact between the senses and their objects, which is like nectar in the beginning, but turns into poison in the end, is called rajasic or impure. Rajasic happiness, that's what the world talks about. Eat, drink, be merry. The 3 mantras for rajasic happiness. And 2 mantras for sattvic happiness, abhyasa, vairagya. But where happiness is just sensory experience, certain things are so delightful to see and lost. But it's not thought-provoking, it is not changing your feeling, entertaining you. No harm in that. But if that entertainment is a means to something profound, then it becomes in order. And here again you can understand among the senses, different people have different stages. But majority of people, tongue is the highlighted sense. Day becomes wonderful. Good taste enters the tongue. Dramatize can sometimes something pleases your ego and you hear that voice, that type of state, the day becomes one. Every sense has its value, pleases the mind, but the goal is not just to keep your mind and senses happy. Mind and senses are like in a chariot, old style simile. Senses are the horses, mind is the reins by which you are pulling the horses. But if all the setup is there, but if the driver is not in healthy state, he is doing drunk driving, then all that you do, you go after pleasures, do amazing things. You go after, you hear something going on in Hawaii or in somewhere else, or even in North Pole, something exciting. People risk their lives, go there. All that seems like nectar, so joyous, so sweet, so cool. But in the end, turns into poison. End term is philosophical term. End means it can, even within your own life, if you have lived your life only for pleasures of the senses, then you suddenly become aware of certain sickness in your body, or sudden calamity when your whole house breaks down by hurricane, or frustrations arising in human relations. So many things. The three tapas are there. Three types of troubles are always haunting your head like three big owls. Troubles coming from your body and mind. Troubles coming from the world around you, the politics, humanity and all. And troubles coming from act of. Enfolded by all these troubles. Soul that seeks out the right course, and that course is sattvic happiness. If not, then the soul becomes as if injured, gripped by the three tapas. That type of painful life is lived by people day by day. Real joy is not experienced. Real happiness is not tasted. And when opportunities are given for real joy, there is sudden distaste for real joy. What I'm leading you to understand, in the end implies led by rajasic happiness, impure happiness. Your soul goes on moving from body to body. The scriptures describe it, Atmahano Jana. In a very gross term, it's like serial killer. Already killed so many bodies. And if you don't have the sattvic happiness, then there will be no satisfaction. You will be kicking this bucket to get into another bucket. The process will continue. That's what's described as it turns into poison in the end. Real happiness is that which inspires you towards self-realization, inspires you to follow Godward movement. This is Kabira's song. It says, "Sukh ke mathe sil pare, jo naam hriday se jaye." Feel very happy, but a happiness that makes you turn away from God. May that happiness receive a big bang on its head. Better it is, balihari wa dukh ki, jo pal pal naam rataye. Painful experience, painful challenge, which makes you turn to God for receiving strength. That's welcome. That's most gracious in divine plan. And let me remind you another point in the Bhagavad Puran. Kunti, who is a profound devotee of Lord Krishna, and Krishna comes to say goodbye to Kunti at a certain stage. And Kunti says, "Vipadah santu nah shashvat tatra jagad guru bhavato darshanam yat syat apunar bhava darshanam." She says, "Oh Krishna, you gave me troubles again and again and again. Now you are saying going away. Don't forget that giving trouble to me." Because troubles that lead to putting an end to the cycle of birth and death, those troubles are blessed experiences in life. And God is the giver of those troubles as a result of your prayer. Only fortunate people will face that type of trouble. Troubles that turn your heart closer and closer to God. And begin to understand the world is not there to give you any help. All the help comes from within, or with what underlies the entire world, God. 39th verse. Yadagre chanubandhe cha sukham mohanam atmanah nidralasya pramadottam tattama samudahritam. But happiness that keeps the mind deluded from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and procrastination, is called tamasic or deluded. Tamasic happiness, that one must have a subtle insight to understand. Normal, healthy sleep, healthy relaxation, healthy entertainment, that's perfectly in order. It should be there in life. But when your mind comes to a kind of a wrong conclusion that for every problem the solution lies in sleep, because sleep is the time when you forget about the whole world. And then you begin to go to sleep. But the sleep says you are not welcome. Then you say, I will outsmart that. I will take drug. And go on building up your own evaluation of happiness. How much happy am I since I have been taking the drug? Previously I slept 6 hours, now I sleep 12 hours, 20 hours. How wonderful. I'm elaborating just to make you understand. That type of happiness, the scripture has elaborated it in the stories of Kumbhakarna and many other demons. Kumbhakarna sleeps 6 months and wakes up only for a day or two. That's allegorical. That's what tamasic happiness brings about. A profound insensitivity to the realities of the world. And when you get a little sensitivity, that gives an expression to your demoniac nature, how many bad things you can do. That's the description of Rakshasi. But come to a practical aspect of life. Having healthy sleep, that should be the ideal in a person. Not to allow laziness to enter your life. Laziness and procrastination, they're twins. And that is the most potent obstacle that doesn't allow you to experience success. They oppose success. In any field of life, if you are procrastinating, you are handling an office, but any job comes, you say, I'm not ready for it. Tomorrow I will do it. You go on piles after piles of things that you couldn't do. Now suddenly you go into the office, see whole bulk of things waiting. And suddenly you're struck with headache. I'm just giving you a very literal type of. But imagine you have trained yourself to be prompt in handling your responsibilities, doing your jobs. And so each day your mind is free, not pressured by the past. To the extent to do that, you are moving into a sattvic type of happiness. Otherwise, your happiness will become on the basis of forgetfulness. Suddenly, a whole plan that was operating in your mind that would enhance your daily life in a positive way, and suddenly all that slips out of you. Forget. And you touch your head, say, oh, I'm free. No load. The tamasic happiness. Forgetting your practical realities, those realities don't forget you. They are sharpening their teeth. Yoga karamasu kaushalam. Kaushala means daksh, being skilled. How to live your life with skill, no matter what job you do, whether in the kitchen, whether in an office, on whatsoever job. Skill means handling the job with full attention, with correct plan, bringing out best result in the shortest period of time. That's called skill. In the beginning, we are learning typing. Each finger has to be introduced to so many things. But when the skill develops, your hands move and you don't even know it. I'm just giving you simple illustration. In every field, you can be a best teacher, a best doctor, a best business person, based up, and that becomes possible if you enhance the skill in your business. That skill is not there in tamasic type of happiness. Na tadasti prithivyam va divi deveshu va punah sattvam prakriti jairyuktam yadevi syatribhir gunai. On this earth, among the mortals, as well as in the heavenly worlds, among gods, there is no entity that is devoid of the three gunas arising out of Prakriti. The entire world evolved out of the three modes of nature. Whatsoever you handle and whatever you encounter can be viewed in according to the three gunas. It can be sattvic, it can be rajasic, it can be tamasic. And to give you each time you hear about the description of gods, human beings, demons, your mind goes into so many directions. But human personality is all that. You are a blend of God, human, demon. And you can allow any of the three to become highlighted in your personality. But if you are in perfect tune with God, then each stage becomes kind of part of your personality. Your feet do as much good as your hand, and so forth. There's no demon, etc. That's what the Brihadaranyaka has brought about, the story of the Brahma to bring order in his creation. He invited three representatives of three classes of beings. God class, one God comes in representing the divine stage, divine plane. Human beings comes representing all humanity. And a demon comes representing all the who are demoniac, to receive instruction from Brahma. And Brahma simply said, "Da." And he asks the divine representative, "Do you understand?" Privately, each one comes one by one. God said, "Yes." Da means Daman. I must keep my mind and senses under control. They should not go haywire. They must be under perfect guidance. So if you are living for that type of disciplining the mind and senses, then Brahma's word, Da, Daman, which will lead you to Shaman, Shama. Mind becomes calm and serene. The human aspect, the same Da word was used to human representative. And Brahma asked, "Do you understand?" Oh Lord, Dan, charity. We human beings depend upon each other. Everything that you have is a cooperative movement. The cloth you wear, the phone that you use, and even the road you walk, they're all human beings. So be generous. Do likewise. Charity. That's called Dan. Same Da word. Dama, Dan. The demon personality, Brahma looked at him into his eyes. What do you understand? He said, "Oh yes, oh Brahma, We are very cruel. I must develop daya, compassion. So all these three must blend in human personality. There are certain aspects of your personality that tends to be cruel. That becomes demoniac. Bring daya, compassion. That part of your personality that deals with human values, humanity, near and dear ones, and how to live with them. And the highlight, you live that type of life joyously if you have charitable heart. For deeper enrichment, mastering the senses, the mind, concentration, meditation, and profound movement. So that one word, the, gives you all these implications. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.